Shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shabbat to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Alatha Shemel Shat to the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander Jenny Hanna. I myself am Priest and Officer 500 Quatazah, under Commander Jenny Hanna in the UPK, and I'm gonna instruct the Hebrew class for brothers and sisters to learn Hebrew. Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, learn your culture, learn your heritage, learn your actual language. So when you say the prayers to the Most High, He will be able to acknowledge you. Extremely important, though. The Most High takes it very serious, though, when we must learn our natural culture, history, and tongue. Because again, when we pray to the Most High, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, for example, the Lord will be able to acknowledge our prayers. So I'm gonna put the Hebrew on a board, and we'll talk about it. We'll start with the basic first. Let's start off with the ancient. Abaga, Dahawa, Za Kata, Ya Kala, Ma Nasa, I Pa Taza, Kwa Rasha, Ta. Another thing, right? So when we read Hebrew, we always read it and pronounce it from the right to the left. When we read and pronounce English and Espanol, we read it from left to right, and we write English and Espanol or French or Italian or German left to right, and we read it left to right, left to right. But far as like ancient Hebrew and modern Hebrew, we always read it from right to left, and write it. And when we write Hebrew words and Hebrew sentences, we write it in right to left, right to left. I'm gonna show you that though. Anyways, though, when I write some Hebrew words down, I'm gonna put the Assyrian or the modern Hebrew, and we'll read over it together. Mm. Sure. All right. All right. For the Assyrian Hebrew, modern Hebrew, we got Abaga, Dahawa, Za Kata, Ya Kala. We got the beginning Ka, and we got the ending Ka. Ma Nasa, beginning Ma, ending Ma. Beginning Na, ending Na. I Pa Taza, beginning Taza, ending Taza. Kwa Ra Sha, and Tha. I'll live there for a moment. I'll give you brothers and sisters a few minutes to copy it, hand write it down, or photocopy it. Then be able to move on. Okay. Moving on. So here we go. Deal with the Hebrew colors and the Hebrew directions. All right. And with that being said, I'll put the Hebrew colors and the Hebrew directions. I'll start with the ancient Hebrew, then I'll write it down in the Assyrian Hebrew or the modern Hebrew. Then I'll write the uh, the English pronunciation of it. Then I'll write the actual English name of the color. That's how that's gonna go. All right. Let me move this on over some. So Hebrew word would be shakar, 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 black, 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 shakar, shakar, shakar. Next Hebrew word. Here's another thing too. Always remember, with these symbols right here are connectors. When you see a frown, an upside down happy face, a frown, the Hebrew character is isolated by itself. But when you see a connector connected to any Hebrew characters, like a smiley face, like that, and the Hebrew word, that means that they're connected. And the Hebrew word is pronounced a certain way. So you'll understand the difference between how it's pronounced, though, whether it has a connector or not, or a non-connector. Not yeah, this is a connector, and this would be a non-connector, the frown faces, and then the happy faces are connectors. These two Hebrew characters are connected. These two are connected, and this one is isolated. This one's isolated. It's not connected. That's specifically for the ancient Hebrew. The Assyrian Hebrew, they don't have connectors. The modern Hebrew don't have connectors, but the ancient Hebrew does for sure. All right. So what's the next color? Kawan, 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 Kawan. And what's the Hebrew word for Kawan? Brown, 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 brown. Moving forward. Next Hebrew word, Laban, 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 Laban. Now, when we translate it, English pronunciation and the proper English, we go from left to right, left to right. We ain't going like the Hebrews, you pronounce it from right to left, right to left, right to left. But then when you pronounce it on the English pronunciation or the English Greek word, you pronounce it from left to right, left to right, left to right. So this would be Laban, right? Laban, 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 for ancient and modern Hebrew. Now, the English pronunciation and the Greek English, Laban, right to left, right to left to right, left to right. Laban, 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 white, white, white. That's the Hebrew word for the color white is Laban, Laban, and it means white, white. Next Hebrew word, Adawam, 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 Adawam. This the modern or Syrian Hebrew right here. Adawam, 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 which means the color red. This is the color red. This is the color red. Right. And for the record, there's no Hebrew word for the color orange. I'll say it again. There is no Hebrew word for the color orange. Ra ga man. A 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 ra ga man. Arakaman. 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 A ra ga man. Arakaman, which is the Hebrew word for the color purple. 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 Arakaman. 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 A ra ga man. Purple. I mentioned before that the color orange doesn't have a Hebrew word. There's no Hebrew word for the color orange. Thakalath. 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 And the Hebrew word, the English word for thakalath is the color blue. The Hebrew word for the color blue is thakalath. 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 Ra I Nan. Ra-I-nan. 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 And that's the Hebrew word for the color green. The color green Hebrew word is Ra-I-nan. 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 That's the Hebrew word for the color green. And always remember, for the ancient Hebrew, there's connectors like thakalaf, tha-ka-laf. The tha is isolated, the ka is isolated, and the laf is connected. The laf, the la, and the tha is connected though, so this will be pronounced as laf. They're connected. Ra'ainan, ra'ainan. The ra is isolated, the I is isolated, but the two nas are connected. So it'll be nan. Ra-I-nan. Ra-I-nan. So Hebrew characters that have for the ancient Hebrew and a Hebrew word on Hebrew words. So for the Hebrew characters for ancient Hebrew that has a upside down frown that's not connected, they're isolated. You can fully pronounce them. But any Hebrew character that's connected, the Hebrew character that's on the left side cannot be fully pronounced, like laf, because this would be a tha. But since the la is connected to the tha, it'll be laf. Like this would be a na, this would be a na. But since both of these two characters are connected, pertaining with the ancient Hebrew, it would be not. It's not going to be na. It will be nan, because they both nas. But since they're connected, the Hebrew character on the left hand side doesn't get fully pronounced. Only the one on the right side when it's connected. Tazahab, 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 Tazahab. We know this Hebrew character right here is a tazah, ha, and ba, but it's pronounced Tazahab. Since this Hebrew character is connected with this Hebrew character, it will be Hab, even though this is a Ba, but it's Hab. Tazahab, 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 Tazahab. And Tazahab means the color yellow in Hebrew. The Hebrew word for the color yellow, Tazahab. And the color yellow's Hebrew word would be Tazahab, Tazahab, Tazahab. Yellow, yellow, color yellow. Cossack, 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 Cossack. Now we're gonna pronounce the two English pronunciation and the actual English meaning for it. Cossack, 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 which means dark and dark, which means dark. Dark means Cossack in Hebrew. The Hebrew word for dark would be Cossack, dark, Cossack. I war, 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 I war. English pronunciation. I war. I war. I war. I war. What does it mean in English? Light, 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 light. The Hebrew word for light is I war. I war. Mata, 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 what means down. Down is the Hebrew word for no, mata is the Hebrew word for down. Down is a direction. So down is a direction. It will be the Hebrew word for down would be mata, 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 which means uh, the English word for down. The Hebrew word for down will be mata. Oh, flag. Ayla, 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 which means up, up, up is the Hebrew word for Ayla. Ayla is the English word for no. Ayla is the Hebrew word for up. Up is the English word for Ayla. Right. Up English, Ayla, Hebrew. This would be the Hebrew pronunciation. But when you translate it in the Assyrian Hebrew or the modern Hebrew, it will be Ayla, and you will read it from right to left instead of left to right. You will pronounce it and read it from right to left instead of left to right, like the English pronunciations are. So this would be I, la. Now, to the original ancient Hebrew, the pure language, it will be translated like this. It will be I, la, and we have the connectors. The I is isolated though, so it can be pronounced fully. The la, and the ha is connected, but the la can be pronounced fully. The ha cannot be pronounced fully, so it's I la, I la, I la, because you can hear you can because the ha will be silent, will be extremely silent, just like mata, mata. The ha is extremely silent because it's because this will be connected to the ta. This will be connected to the la. Far sight with the ancient Hebrew. Oh, I'll put you there. Sure. All right. Oh yeah. Yam yan. 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 Yam, 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 yan. Which means right. That would be the Hebrew word for right. And no, you're right. The English word for right, right. The Hebrew word for right would be yam yam. Hebrew word yam yam, which means right, right, which is a direction. Right, right, right. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Shama all. Shama all. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Shama all. Shama all. Shama all. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Sha ma all. Shama all. Shama all. Shama all will be left. Left will be the Hebrew word for left, which is a direction, will be Shama all. Shama all. Sha ma all. Shama all. Uh-huh. Last two for today. Adam. Adam. Adam, 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 which means dirt. The Hebrew word for dirt is Adam. The English word for Adam will be dirt, dirt, Adam, Adam. Last one, Marah, 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 Marah. Mirror, mirror, mirror. The Hebrew word for mirror is marah, marah. The English word for marah will be mirror, mirror, mirror. That's it for the Hebrew class. We about to acknowledge the security announcements. ICPK security announcements. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads, ties, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 9. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means 10th in Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the general, priest or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you will like, upcoming holy convocations. We have the Lord's 57th annual Passover, which is going to take place down in Houston, Texas. First date will be April 1st, 2026, down in Houston, Texas. The last day will be April 6th, 2026, down in Houston, Texas. The 4th of April, April 4th, though, will be the most important day of the year, the Lord's 57th annual Passover. We recommend all Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians come down there and celebrate the Lord's 57th annual Passover. Remember the culture and the heritage and the history of our forefathers and ancestors. Make sure you got hotels, Airbnbs prepared, your travel arrangement settled if you're flying or if you're driving, and things of that nature. Remind Akim and Aquathium to check bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, we're going to give the courtesy salute to the instructor, which is myself, Yasharallah, Israel, Amajim, Amad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakatah, Yazmatah, sorry, which means to turn. Akwathium, or sisters stand. Amajim, Amad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatah Ba'ashem Yahshua, Yazmatah, Class dismissed.